Welcome back. The program is still the Afia Morning Show, reaching you live from the coal city, Enugu, Nigeria. I'm Nathalie Ukwu, and of course, Otti is here. Otti, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm great. Happy Thursday, Friday.
Is there a morning that you would just say something that's not happy, something
we just
happy
have to
that...
be happy, my dear.
I'm happy. You don't have to tell me to be happy. I'm already a happy person. Are you?
You're welcome.
That's the big question.
You're
Are you a
welcome.
happy person?
Well, no.
And I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
That's why I expel.
That's why you expel. You expel.
Yeah.
I give up on this man. All right, we're not alone. We're here with Barrister Chidi, Ujoatumba as well, human rights lawyer. Barrister Chidi, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nathalie and Mr. Otti.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Otti, Nathalie is looking like takeaway this morning.
Thank you. You see why I think we have to swap seats. Otti will start sitting there, Barrister Chidi will start sitting.
Please,
we always have such lovely remarks. Otti's own is happy Monday,
Okay.
happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday,
No,
happy Thursday.
It's difficult not to appreciate what is right before me.
You're right.
Oh, wow.
It's real.
You.
Then when it's someone's birthday, you say birthday to you. You're not. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting so hilarious of late. Like I don't know what's happening.
You are.
I don't know. Like
Indeed.
it's just. I'm not a comedian, but. Anyway, let's leave it at that.
It's okay.
And take a look at headlines and see if there's any comedic headlines this morning. Some comic stories for us. We'll look at the Punch newspaper first. And this one is on business and, of course, concerning the World Bank's poverty report. Presidency rejects World Bank's poverty report. Nigerians living in poverty rose from 115 million in 2023 to 139 million in 2025, according to World Bank. Presidency disputes data, defends reforms. World Bank urges action on inflation, poverty. Dangote refinery engineers on warpath over redeployment. I beg your pardon. LP senators shrink to 4 as Chukwu joins APC. Fraud, Interpol arrests wanted Nigerian in Argentina. Strike federal government, ASU in high-stakes talks. On The Guardian, World Bank and Nigerians' reforms yielded stability, not relief for poor. Presidency reps knock claims for genocide against Christians to inform UN. JAMB screens 176 underage candidates amid push for policy review. INEC court orders IGP Ebetokun to arrest Yakubu. You can't develop without investment, Obasanjo says. Naji's resignation splits opinion, exposes cracks in vetting system. Rep summon Tuga envoys over $54 million foreign mission funds. 17 local government areas under attack, says Benue Emergency Agency. And from The Guardian to Platform Times, power brokers jostle as Tinubu picks successor to Yakubu. Aso Rock weighs loyalty, competence in final decision. Rotary Club launches tree planting drive, pushes for female education in Abeokuta. 640 million naira withdrawn from Kogi government's account in 6 days. Bank official tells court. EFCC boss warns youth against online fraud. Scandal rocks Ebonyi police. ACP's SP fingered in alleged baby sale. On Salient Times, 139 million Nigerians living in poverty despite reform gains, according to the World Bank. Stakeholders call for stronger support to revive education in Ebaland. Nigeria eyes $40 billion global cannabis oil market as NDLEA okays regulated exports. Herdsman, 36 cows killed in Plateau renewed attack. Detectives launch for man who killed his wife and 2 children. Exposing children to e-waste pollution can cause hypertension, according to experts. Court orders IGP to arrest Mahmoud Yakubu as ex-INEC chairman. Alleged terrorism, absence of medical reports stalls Nnamdi Kanu's trial.
Okay, starting from Nigerian News Direct, World Bank projects decline in Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio to 39.8% in 2025. Shaolu commissions 420 housing units in Badagry, flags of Phase 2 development. Police suspend enforcement of tinted glass permits following court's order. 11 states waive ROW fees as NCC seeks more. international support. Pengassen's strike responsible for alleged Christian genocide. Khan tackles FG calls for decisive action to end killings. Moving over to Daily Global. 2027, Atiku Obi Jonathan can't defeat Tinubu, says Oji Kalu. Lagos Rivers FCT lead as IGR rises 49% to 3.63 trillion naira. Why NDLEA OK's regulated cannabis oil export opposes local use. Mawa. Edo State government issues final warning to land grabbers in designated communities. And this one says NES Stoga calls for strategic economic diplomacy, regional integration, and policy intelligence. Wike warns AMAC over unauthorized streets naming in Abuja. Moving over to The Nation. How reforms are bringing down poverty by presidency. World Bank lets policies reflect on living standard. 139 million could live in poverty by 2025. Uche Naji's resignation, a lesson in honor. Senate seeks military base in Kwara, troops in communities. APC set to take in defecting governors. Party now holds 23 in Senate. Shelf plan strike. Alausa tells ASU BOI's 2 billion naira loan for corps members. I beg your pardon. Okay, guys, on page 7 of The Nation. NGOs seek ban on Naji from holding public office. Police put tinted glass enforcement on hold. Lastly, 176 underage UTME candidates undergo screening. MPA shops for investors in Japan. Nigerian Tribune. Insecurity. Senate seeks permanent military base in Kwara South as Army steps up action to invite Minister of Defense. IGP, over 142 kidnapped.
On subsidy, we realize that all this while that the federal government have been paying money to so many people who have alleged that they are bringing in oil into Nigeria, and money has been going into the hands of the wrong people. So when subsidy is gone, how much have we saved? We don't know. How has the closure of that policy, how has it actually brought more money? How has it created more jobs? How has it helped? I thought that by now, policy gone would have made 1 or 2 refineries to be, up and running, but we're not getting anything. There is nothing to show this policy that Mr. President implemented, this removal of subsidy. How has it helped the Nigerian economy? How has it helped the common man? Do you know that policy gone, fuel prices increase, subsidy gone, food prices increase? So I can't find out. I find it difficult to fathom how their policies are helped. Probably in the long run it may, but for now it's not helping anybody. And I don't see that. Sure, there is no light at the end of this tunnel. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody.
I mean, quite so simply put, it's not helping anybody. Okay. I mean, that established, let's shift away from there to emerging issues. Now, we are aware that the Minister of Innovation, Science and Tech resigned recently. Now, that resignation has been greeted with mixed reactions. Some people find it an honorable thing. In fact, they say things such as his resignation was done, as a sign of, being innocent. He has resigned honorably, and he still has the capacity to run for any office he chooses. That his ministerial position has little or nothing to do with the quest for the Lion building, perhaps, in 2027. Now, that's on one side. On the second side, you have some civil society organizations who are saying that he did not resign in an honorable way, that he, in fact, was pressured by the media to resign. They have described him in that section, as unrepentant, because in his resignation, he said that this resignation was not an admission of guilt. And we do realize that he has taken the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, to court, initially to stop it from releasing records, and as other reports revealed, to basically test what it released, saying that he did not graduate from the institution. So they're saying he's unrepentant. And they're also calling for more scrutiny, more vetting. And they're also saying that the Senate and the DSS should collectively apologize to Nigerians. What's your take? What's your own mixed reaction to this? Oh my God, this coming on a multiple barrel capacity. The DSS and the Senate, okay, should they owe Nigerians an apology.
Because you see, when we say that this Senate is a rubber stamp Senate, you can see their seal. You can see how they're using their seal. This is how they are using their seal. So on a short note, I think they should tighten their news. They should actually review their what we call it now, their accreditation policy, or however they scrutinize those who have been, brought to them for ministerial appointment. Now, when you look at it from this angle, the apology, or rather the resignation, is dripping with a whole lot of connotations. A lawsuit is hanging in the balance, and here we are seeing a resignation that where someone is saying to Nigerians that, that his resignation is not as a result of him being guilty. Okay, I wonder where he's actually driving at. I read a report where he's saying that he has rights and mentioning all his rights. I tell people that the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria supersedes all those rights you are mentioning, and then the Freedom of Information Bill. Okay, that's a very wonderful legislation. It gives the media the authority required, you understand, to do exactly what they have done. Do you know that this case has been on since 2023? In short, since his recommendation for appointment, this case has been on. So he didn't honorably withdraw or resign since then. He waited for the polity to be heated up, you understand. Before now, he started resign. He should resign. That's the best thing to do. But I think it should be followed up with prosecution, because you see, it must serve as a deterrent. Okay, like Atiku rightly pointed out, I believe that the whole lot of politicians there who needs proper scrutiny in their age, proper scrutiny in their certification. Because how can you tell me that we are so rich and we are so blessed, and after appointment nothing moves on? No sector registers apart from is it Minister of Interior that went into what do you call it, helping people who are getting what do you call it now, international passport, okay, and they clear things, and you see that someone who has passion has come into this field and things are moving. Backlog that we have recorded over a number of times, they were cleared within 1 month. Otti, people were now getting their international passport within a fraction of a percentage second. That's kudos to that department. Apart from that, every other department, they need scrutiny. You cannot give what you don't have. In law, we call it nemo dat quod non habet. It is the law of content. If you could not finish a university degree, okay, what do you think that be going on in the mind of his classmates who were at University of Nigeria, who knew exactly that this guy is a dropout? What do you think that has been going through in their mind? We came out with first class. We came out with first class. We're still looking for a job. We came out with second class, and we are still working for a company. But someone who dropped out is now a minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria. That will tell you the magnitude of rot in this system. And I think it needs to be clear. You can't give what you don't have. If your ministers are half-baked, if your ministers are unqualified, if your ministers and your political appointee don't know their onions and they can't fry them, how do you think that your policy will make a change in the Nigerian government? You can't give what you don't have. That's the problem of this government. They have refused to admit that it has to be. Governance is all about competency based. It's competency based. When you have the will without the intelligence, you understand, and the intestinal fortitude to solve an existing problem, that's what makes you a hero. Okay. No, that's what makes you a hero.
Tinubu should prosecute Naji. Atiku stated, by the way. Do you think APC would prosecute their own?
I don't think so. APC will look at someone who committed corruption while he or she was in a different political party. The moment the person flags the flag of APC, all the sins he has committed will be forgotten. I look at them, I look at EFCC, I look at Nigeria, I cry for this nation. The moment the person declares to be a member of APC, his sins and everything he has done will be forgiven. Why should Naji's case be different? Why should his case be different? When all the governors are wanting to defect to this thing, APC. Chukwu, that his brother was killed because of Labour Party, have just left Labour Party. No fear of blood. Your brother was killed because of Labour Party. He was the Labour Party member trying to make something happen for his senatorial district, and you came and took the torchlight, and all of a sudden you have defected to APC.
But it's now politics.
It's politics now. He has defected to APC. No ideology, no respect, no nothing. What about people who were killed in that process? What about people who put their life in the line for you to be there? What about what that LP represented at that moment. It was a new thing, it was a new dawn. It represented something. How will you now represent the constituency, those who voted for you? Because it's not APC that voted for you, it's LP that voted for you, it's not APC. So those who were your grassroots, those who supported you, those who built you up, well, how can you look them in the face and say that you're no longer a member of that party? This is not going to take us anywhere. We are killing politics in Nigeria. It's not going to take us anywhere. It's not really going to. I can't wait for APC to implode. The implosion of APC will be louder than a volcano. You know what we call a volcanic eruption? It will be louder than a volcano. You can't build Nigeria with one political system. You understand? There has to be diversification. There has to be divergent opinion. There has to be opposition. That's what stretches you. That's what makes a political party a political. If you can't take criticism, if you can't take criticism from others, if you can't take opposition, if you want Nigeria to be one single political party so that no one will question or challenge you, how shall we go and look at presidents who have tried to do it in the past, how their country ended up? So it's not going to take us anywhere. It's not really, it's dead on arrival. Let them gather, okay? Let them gather.
All right, taking a look at Salient Times, another headline here that of course concerns everyone in the southeast region. Alleged terrorism, absence of medical reports stalls Mazi Kano's trial. Now, according to the details of this, following no objection to the adjournment request, Justice Omotosho fixed October 16th for the board to submit its report. Now, the report is supposed to determine whether Kano is fit to stand for the continuation of his trial. Now, the big question is, why is it so difficult for the NMA to provide a medical report? The president himself.
I don't know why such should be. I think, was it 8 days that we heard?
It's 8 days, yeah.
When the order of the court came out during the last sitting, I think it was 8 days that was given to them to do that. I don't know why. The importance and the imperativeness of that medical report is very, very sacrosanct. And I think it's something that should be given a quick attention. They have not even given a reason why there has been a delay. Okay, today is 9th of October, so 16th is just in the next 7 days. So let's wait and see. I am of the opinion that it's something that should be expedited in such a way that his fate will be known to his followers, and more importantly, the state of his health should be made known to Nigerians, since they rejected the report submitted by his personal medical physicians. So they should get that done as quickly as possible, because it's very, very important for his case.
All right, now just some more details around that. Now, at the days of the proceeding, the counsel to the federal government had informed the court, according to this report, that the medical board had contacted them that the report was not ready for presentation as directed by the court. So the question now is, if no specific reason was provided, why would the board be unable to do this in 8 days? Are we just looking at the surface, or is there something more? We do remember after the last court hearing, we saw counsel to Kano and other representatives saying that appealing to the NMA not to be compromised in this case, begging them not to get compromised. And now 8 days later, we're yet to receive, shall we say, the vital signs of the IPOB leader. What do you think is going on?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, because both the NMA and the DSS, these two establishments where Nnamdi Kanu is being held, they are all in one jurisdiction. They're all in Abuja. So it's not something that you have to travel far and wide to go and collect samples. While I'm worried is because medical samples could be done in 48 hours. Once you have sent the person and you've taken either the blood or the saliva or anything that you want to use to conduct your test, it could be done within 48 hours. Okay, so when it actually starts derailing, someone is always raising eyebrows whether the report itself or whether the test itself has been compromised. I also believe that they will make open the process through which they will arrive at the result they will give us at the end of it. Let it not just be a garbage in, garbage out. This is what we think, or this is what we believe that
you're calling for openness.
There should be an openness.
Yeah, but you're calling for openness, but the process is already ongoing. Yeah. I mean, let's look at facts. Let's look at reality. This directive was given days ago.
Yes, the delay has occurred already.
We're calling for openness, but the period has already passed, and we had no communication. The only thing we heard was that they were unable to do it, to provide a report.
That's not enough.
Are we calling for openness late?
That's not enough. I think we should intensify our call.
They've actually have carried out,
yes,
but they didn't write the report, because from the confessions from his counsel, I'm talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu,
okay,
you know, they're like, yes, they even found out more things wrong with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but they didn't file in the report. That's the question. Why didn't they didn't file it in the, that's why wrong. Didn't file in the report?
How would you now say that something has been found out? Medical report is not an oral report. Even if you are in the face of your medical practitioner, he should be able to put something in black and white for you to be able to know what's actually wrong with you. Even in for you to be recommended for further recommendation for drug, for any other thing that will be done, something must be put down. So that's a very strange one if they have not filed anything. So what's the essence of conducting the report if nothing has been? The onus lies on them to file a medical report based on the examination they have conducted on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The onus lies on them to do that, and courts have given them a timeline to do that. So if there's an unnecessary delay, I think the counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should bring that to the knowledge of the court, because as at now they have not actually given a reason why they have not been able to file the medical report, like you rightly pointed out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I thought that the texts have not been conducted. I don't even know that.
As
yes, it has been conducted, but they have not filed a report to the court.
Who stated that?
Yes, who said that? There's a gap there.
One of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's counsel, okay, right? Because they had the interview after the plenary yesterday, right? So they were stating that they even found out more things wrong with this individual, by the way, but they didn't file the report.
Okay, let's wait and see probably what's delaying their report. The case, definitely, you know that this case will not go on until that kind of order made by the court is carried out. Because if Nnamdi Kanu is sick, you can't continue to be trying him. Oh, if he has raised an objection based on ill health, it has to be determined, and it must be determined based on a verifiable medical report.
I mean,
have to wait for that. Yeah,
quite interesting. We'll watch and see what happens come October 16th. Maybe
exactly.
the ink
7 days away.
Maybe the ink is not coming out of the pen, and they're still trying to shake the pen to make it right. But back to the case.
Somebody needs to buy a new pen.
Back to the case of Ujoatumba, just circling back. Now, some of these CSOs are also calling for his lifetime ban. One of them, especially calling for lifetime ban from public office. Is that a bit too harsh?
Yeah, it's a bit too harsh, because let me tell you something now, okay? He can remedy, the door is wide open for him to remedy this whole situation. He can swallow his pride, step down from his high horse, and walk back into the university and finish his whatever, and get his what do you call it, his certificate. You understand?
What you're saying is he should go back to the University of Nigeria.
Definitely.
Sit down and write.
Definitely.
The virology exam.
He should do that.
After all these years.
The university cannot exempt. If he likes, let him drag.
In 1986, 1st of May, he wrote to the university that, if they can give him the space and chance to continue to finish up and, rewrite orders, but the university declined.
The university, I've not seen the letter of the university, because you must have to consider the reason why they declined. No admission cannot expire.
Because they've been trying to get him to come and rewrite.
Yeah, they said that they have been trying as alleged. Okay, so what I'm saying is that if we have the response from the university, we will now analyze their reason, whether it is a reason that can be reviewed, okay? Because you can't stop someone from finishing his academic career now that it has become actually a national issue, okay? So I don't know probably whether he should go back to year one, but I think that if he actually wanted to make it clean and clear, he should go back and pick up the shattered pieces of his admission and clean it up. It's just a 1 year. I think it was a 4th year that happened. So but suing the university is not going to help him, because the Freedom of Information Act, you understand, gives the media the authority and the authority to do exactly what they do. I would love to follow that case. It's going to be a kind of an interesting one.
I mean, the case is already ongoing,
yes,
but your solution is, let me say it back to you. You're saying that the former Minister
yes,
of Innovation, Science and Technology after so many years, we're looking at decades, should go back, pick up the pen, and if the allegations prove true, should rewrite his virology paper among other students years later.
You're never too old to go back to school.
Never too old to go back to school. Never too old.
Okay, let's leave it at that. Daily Global 2027, Atiku Obi, Jonathan can't defeat Tinubu. Oji Kalu posits.
I disagree with Oji Kalu.
Tell us why you disagree with Oji Kalu.
I disagree with him because if the election would be free and fair, we have to add that, okay? If the electoral umpire would be sanitized, if the gaps we saw in 2023, you understand, will be made good of at this time around, both in the amendment we're expecting to occur in the 1999 Constitution and also in the Electoral Act. If all these things will be done, okay, and these three people, Atiku, Jonathan Obi, happens to be in one party, because these are the conditions, then Tinubu stands no chance. He stands no chance. There's no way he can face the duo of Jonathan Obi and Atiku on a free and fair election. It will be a landslide. It will be a landslide. That's my take on that.
Okay, Nigerian Tribune. Reps reject U.S. Senate's move to designate Nigeria as country of particular concern. You know, it's been going back and forth, the whole clean of Christians and whatnot and all that stuff. So, what's your
I wonder why it's not even making bold headlines in school, because this Senator Ted Cruz have been making a very big case for Nigeria.
But the Nigerian state is denying it.
Let me tell you, this guy is planning to he's already sponsoring a bill in the United States that will make the United States government to designate Nigeria as a terrorist state. And once that is done, they might come here to set up a military base and pull out the Christians, because the rate of slaughtering of Christians in Nigeria, the government are silent about it. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. There is rumor going on that Nigerian government is actually part of the people sponsoring this terrorism, because it seems not to have an end. It seems not to have an end. You still remember what we got to know about what aid was that again? The foreign aid that was the US aid that was coming, and where the money we have been funneled up to now, no one has given us a clear report where all those money went to. We saw videos of helicopter dropping aid for terrorists. Okay, where are they getting their AK-47? I think Dubai sometime released, or rather say that they have handed over to the Nigerian government lists of senators, past governors sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria, but no name was released, and they have not actually been. Few weeks ago, the Sahel, the Sahel president, okay, the three Sahel presidents said that they will soon release names of senators in Nigeria and people who are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. So when you look at the confederate, why hasn't it gone away, Oji? Why hasn't it stopped? Why have we not fight it to a standstill? Because there's a big hand, you understand, allegedly sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria. So I think they follow money. Americans, they follow money. It's not this one. They follow money. They know how to track money. They track items. They track a whole lot of things. But yeah, we're not open. We don't want to fight terrorism. We don't want to fight terrorism.
But let me pick your mind, right? Let's move away from the surface area right now, go underneath. When all this happens, we know what happens in a or whatever country. They always set up a base. You know, the aftermath and all that stuff. Are we ready for such?
What are you talking about? They set up a base in Cameroon. It have saved the Christians in Cameroon. Go and read the report. Since I think that was the first tenure of Donald Trump. That was when he set that base in Cameroon. The slaughtering have stopped. Everything have stopped. So we actually need it. A particular people in this country told you that they will pour the Quran from the Sahel to the Atlantic, and you think that they don't know what they are doing. And this killing have continued. There's no end to this. Our borders are porous. There's no end to this. Have you seen the sophisticated weapons that they carry around? Who do you think that can? Do you know that this killing continues, but when there is time for election, the killing will stop? Have you noticed that? Why is that in all those places where there are IDP camps during election, they will vote and a number of people will come out and vote, but But when the election ends, terrorism will continue. This is state-sponsored terrorism. And I think that the US should squeeze Nigerian government so tight so that they on their own should start naming names and calling out and prosecuting those who are sponsoring terrorism.
Still coming from the other side, by the way, and you know what happens about this kind of a thing, right? And the interest of these Western people when it comes to Africans and the interest, they own the interest, by the way, your resources and all that stuff. Are we even ready for that? Because from people, critics and all that, right? They could actually call out these things and like, hey, it might be the reason why they are actually eyeing, right? Because they know that definitely in Nigeria, we know we're filled and blessed with some kind of resources they might be needing to. Don't you think there might be interest?
This is a bilateral relationship, okay? Nigeria and United States of America, they've been doing businesses all the while. Let me tell you where we have problem. We have problem when we have corrupt leaders. We have problem when a mandate have been stolen. You now try to use these Western powers, you understand, to put yourself in power, and thereby you compromise your own economy. You might give them oil wells. You might, give out some things to cover up your inadequacy, to cover up your illegitimacy. But if the people voted for you, if you are a man of the people, you can make everything open because you are working with the mandate of the people. So that's why election is very, very paramount for you to actually win and win in a transparent way, okay? If America wants to come into Nigeria and set up a military base to save the Christians, on a scale of 1 to 10, which one is better? I'm asking you, take it easy. The killing, should it continue? Or should we have someone who can say no to this killing, but probably we pay with a little chunk of our resources? Which one is better? Go and check the quantity of gas. Go and check the quantity of gas in Imo State. Where are they going to?
That's the question. Is it always a chunk? And also, come 2027 election, whether
you like it or not, let's go into this topic right now.
Let's go into it.
Shell BP, okay? Yeah. All the companies that are drilling oil in Nigeria, who owns them? Who owns them? America and Britain, okay? Do you know how long they have been in this country? If you look at the money they have made out of this country, do they even need any other thing to set up a military base in Nigeria? They don't. All your oil goes through their channel. The gas in Imo State, do you know the cubic of gas they have found in Imo State will not end in the next 150 years? Just Imo State here. I'm talking about Imo State here. Do you know 12 oil companies are in Imo State, but their head office are located in Lagos. Their head office are located in Lagos. 12 of them are drilling gas and oil in Imo State. What are we talking about? Do you want us to open up the oil well in Nigeria into the face of? Let me tell you, a lot is already going on. This bilateral relationship should be harnessed to save the life of Christians. They are coming, Oji, and you can't stop them. The government is not ready to fight them. The government of Nigeria is not ready to fight terrorism. If the United States of America is telling you that your government is compromised, that they are sponsoring terrorism, that they are killing Christians, you better have to believe them. So, are you not seeing it yourself? How many terrorists have been arrested? How many of them have gone behind bars? How many of them? Set a state apparatus now that will go inside the bush to fight you. They remove you from power. Something is going on also. So let's call a spade and not a farm implement.
Barrister Chidi, sir? So come 2027 election, would these affect Tinubu's bid becoming or coming back as the president of Nigeria?
It will. It definitely will. I love the way the polity is hitting. Let it continue to hit both internally and also externally, okay? Because the spate of rigging is absurd, okay? I mean, we were raped in the broad daylight. Come on, look at that 2023 election. We will never recover from it. It will take Nigeria a lot to recover from the massive rigging that occurred in 2023. And up to now, no one has been prosecuted. No one has been prosecuted
for the arrest of
that is the scapegoat that they set up there, like the last CBN governor. You understand? After everything the Buhari administration did, they now set up MFL as the scapegoat, and we are EFCC and DSS are pursuing MFL. At the end of the day, Yakubu will one day write a book to tell you exactly what happened in 2023 election. It's a charade, okay? I mean, our political system has drifted down the precipice. We need a resurrection in that area. How can the international organization respect us. Do you know that they are shouting about foreign investors? Foreign investors cannot come if judges cannot give impartial judge. All these things are, I mean, they're written down. You can't eat your cake and have it back. You can't eat your cake and have it back. So if all that do you know that we can set up a base, a timeline base, okay? Yes, we can set up a timeline, 15 years, 20 years. In some places in the Middle East, the US can come to maintain peace for a particular time. Then as they are going, they will hand over the apparatus to the locals and they can go. They have left Afghanistan. They have left so many places. The US will come and set up a base in Nigeria does not mean that they will be here forever. But what could be done to save the life of innocent Christians who have been slaughtered every day? We have the military, we have the DSS, we have the Navy. All of them, the joint force combined together, they cannot even stop insecurity in Nigeria.
All right.
Do you know the amount of money that goes into insecurity every day?
We have to move to the next headline now.
Okay.
I mean, so many interesting points that you've raised, great points, and I understand the sensitivity of this and the emotions that it does bring. But we will continue to hope that Nigeria one day changes. Let's look at this other headline from The Guardian. INEC. Court orders IGP Egbetokun to arrest Yakubu. Now, there are civil society organizations citing the woes, what they described as woes of the former INEC chair during his time. They are even calling for a thorough investigation, saying that he didn't do well, basically, in maintaining the democratic practices of Nigeria. And they're also pleading, this one is specific to Huriwa, another NGO, pleading for President Tinubu not to politicize the appointment of Yakubu's replacement. What's your take on some of these reactions to his?
He who pays the piper dictates the tune. Is it not the same Tinubu that Yakubu put in office that will give us a replacement for Yakubu? So what do you expect? Even if they bring, except if they go to Abia State and bring the returning officer of that's the Abia State returning officer during the gubernatorial election. Except if they go and bring that professor, I don't. From my own observation, from my own judgment, I don't see anybody who will look at politicians in the face and fear them and tell them this election must be free and fair. So let me tell you what is going on. I said it before. Yakubu will go in for all the things that were committed in 2022. That's you see, when all these NGOs are calling for his prosecution, okay, can the 2023 election be cancelled? It will not be cancelled. It has come to stay. Is Tinubu not see your president? He see your president. What would they do to Yakubu? Yakubu is just there. Yakubu is just there. He did exactly what they wanted him to do. What are you talking about? What will Yakubu? Okay, let them prosecute him now. They should prosecute him. Probably he will start singing and would check his account and see exactly what happened. That is a sacrosanct office that we should even be somebody who should be there should be elected. I don't even think that how can a president appoint an INEC at the overall of INEC? I'm still trying to fathom the how it can work, and the man will still come and look him in the face and say this election must be free and fair. Your boss who pays you salary, somebody you are answerable to on your day-to-day activity as a civil servant. Possible.
Now there are some people that are calling for an independent body to be set up to oversee the selection of a new INEC chair. What do you think about that?
Yeah, if the independent body could be set up, fine, that is good. Let them scrutinize the new appointment, or rather the new appointee, or let there be just people to be what's the word again, to be nominated, okay, for that body to now scrutinize them and give us an INEC chairman. It could be anybody, whether a northerner or I don't care, but let the person be competent, let the person be credible, let the person have a verifiable track record, because that's just one thing I know that we cannot overlook, okay? Nathalie, you can't just come out one day and become a nice person. No, from the blues, without a track record of you understand, having opportunity to do good, and you did good when no one is watching you. When no one is watching you, okay? When no one is watching you, the things you've done in the past, can we get them and look at them? So track record should be included, academic qualification should be included, and the person should be purely apolitical. So if you have a body, like Nathalie pointed out, an independent, dispassionate body who can look at these people and now give us somebody, because the character of this person is of paramount importance. I've seen people who resign.
You made a point.
Yeah,
you made a great point. But let's also look at the fact that politicking and corruption seems to mar everything that Nigeria tries to do. What's the possibility that if an independent body is set up, that it would still not be politicized? Because then you ask another question: who pays the nominees in the independent body?
Okay, now, if they say desperate situations calls for desperate measures. When we see a rot in a particular system, we should also be able to be disciplined enough to raise the kind of men and women who will sit down and deal with that rot. This is not the first time we have tried to pull ourselves from a dangerous situation. Why was EFCC created in the first place? It's because of the rot of corruption. So if we want to sanitize INEC, a system could be set up not only to appoint their overhead leader, but also to, like a police is there, we also have the Police Service Commission.
Right. Okay, Barrister Chidi, we're out of time.
Yeah.
But it's great that you mentioned the EFCC because there's still so many questions. What later happened to the Better Edu files? What's currently going on with Sujimoto? We're yet to receive updates from EFCC. So that's another conversation for another day. We'll wrap it up right now. Thank you, Barrister Chidi, for joining the review this morning. I like that dance. Can we put him on close up, do that again? It just wakes us right up.
Why would you do that?
Professor Otti, that's the returning officer you're talking about.
Yes.
Actually calling nominations.
Yes, we are calling. Let her be the one to such a way that we can see how they will be able to compromise her.
All right, we'll go on a quick break now. When the morning show returns, we'll go on a regional trip to find out what's happening in Abia State, and not to forget here in Enugu State. Do stay tuned.